What's up, fellow internet denizens? Spotify Wrapped came out this week, and I think it would be fun to guess what musicians my favorite characters in literature would have as their top artists. This would probably feel very arbitrary or weird, but I don't care. I'm not as big on some artists that I've put here as others, but this is basically vibe matching, and I've had a fun time making this, so enjoy. Warning, this will contain spoilers for the following: Cosmere, Legend of Drizzt, possibly the Dresden Files, but I doubt it. Anyway, let's get into it. Kaladin Stormblessed, leader of Bridge 4, is probably my favorite character in Stormlight Archive. He just wants to heal himself and others, but keeps ending up in horrible situations. When I see Kaladin, I think Lorna Shore. Or rather, I think of Kaladin when I hear Lorna Shore. Perhaps it's because I got into them around the time I started reading Stormlight Archive, or perhaps it's because the music conjures images of struggling with your inner demons in a world where God is dead, another god is usurping his power, all while giant crustaceans attack and two storms clash in the sky. Fucking metal, man. Shalyn. She is complicated because she has a magical form of dissociative identity disorder, so I will separate her system into her alters. Shalyn, the host, is a quiet, traumatized girl with a photographic memory and a penchant for drawing everything around her. She only wants the truth, and yet she lies to herself constantly. I actually see a lot of myself in her, minus the photographic memory, the DID, and talent, and anything fun. I think she would really like My Chemical Romance, which was the band that helped me find myself in high school. I know that sounds cliche and mall goth as fuck, but they're a great band, especially for people who struggle with themselves. Next up, Vale is a bisexual baddie who loves drinking, causing trouble, and helping those less fortunate. As a fellow drunken bisexual, I think her favorite bands would be Ann Arbor and Palais Royale. Just some nice, bluesy, grimy rock. Radiant, however, gives me basic vibes. I am sorry. I had to say it. She likes Taylor Swift. That is all. Now let's move on to Shalyn's Spren, Pattern. Pattern loves those MIDI songs where you can paint a picture with the sounds. The cooler the picture, the more he likes it, of course. And that's fine. Pattern isn't exactly human. He doesn't have to adhere to human tastes. Sazed is a Terraceman who studies religion, despite the fact that almost all religions are illegal at the start of the Mistborn series. He tries to find meaning until, after a long journey, he becomes God. Here, you would probably expect to hear worship music, as Sazed is worshipped. However, I dislike most conventional worship music for a number of reasons. Namely, most of it is the same gushy, generic four-chord mantras about how much you love Jesus without much substance. Now that doesn't sound appealing to somebody like Sazed, right? Instead, I think he would like the kind of religious music where the singer asks questions, explores life's purpose, and admits they are lost, like Anne Boleyn, 21 Pilots, and Underoath. Despite Hoyd appearing in almost every Cosmere book, and being several thousand years old, we as readers know next to nothing about him. We know he plays the flute, but this can't be his only musical interest. Of course, I think his taste would be as diverse as the worlds he's visited. One day he could be listening to The Killers, while the next he would be more into Kendrick Lamar and on a whim switch to Benny Goodman. And that's awesome. I think it's good to have a vast taste. Thomas Wraith is a vampire of the White Court, meaning he feeds on emotions rather than blood. He is in love and yet can't be in love because that goes against his nature as a white vampire. And this has led to some of my favorite moments in the series. I've already said he gives me Andy Black vibes, but I think he also likes industrial goth and dark synth stuff like Massive Ego and Crook Shadows. Those bands have the right sort of melancholy to emulate Thomas's inner conflicts and desire to just be human. Sanya is a fun character, because despite being a knight of the cross and fighting alongside literal biblical angels, he is agnostic. While he isn't a major character like Harry Dresden or Thomas or anything, he still has an interesting philosophy, and I love people like that. He also wields an AK for when his sword isn't enough, as one does. I fan cast him as Chadwick Boseman, but that probably won't be happening anytime soon. Rest in peace. I could be biased and say he likes hard bass, Tchaikovsky, Pussy Riot, or Slaughter to Prevail because he's Russian, but come on, that's too easy. I'd like to instead think that since he's the Knight of Hope, he probably likes something uplifting, wholesome, and fun. Like Rammstein. Because she is a dwarf, Cheery Littlebottom loves power metal. Power metal keeps your beard long and gives you the energy to mine all day. However, female-fronted power metal is frowned upon by dwarves, as is anything feminine. Despite this, Cheery is a big fan of Epica and Nightwish. She also sometimes listens to Powerwolf just to piss off Angua. Agnes Knit is a witch with a very powerful voice. I think she would love music by women with equally powerful voices. Therefore, I've decided she would love Lacuna Coil and Spirit Box and can probably mimic the lead's voices to a T. Now, her second personality, Perdicia, again with the magical DID, is more into cabaret goth music like Dresden Dolls and Emily Autumn. Susan Stow-Hellett is the grown-up I wish I was. She's pragmatic, great with kids, loves black clothing, tries very hard to be normal despite being Death's granddaughter and having a lot of crazy powers. She helps her grandfather when the auditors try and mess with Discworld, and can never quite live out her fantasy of just being normal. Her best friends are, of course, a skeletal rat and a raven named Quoth. Well, I personally think she likes baby metal, and will get very defensive about this, just like how she does with chocolate. And yes, her favorite song is Gimme Chocolate. Wulfgar, son of Beornigar. My beloved, beautiful, tragic barbarian. This man has been through so much, and I just want to hug him, but I know nothing I can do can fix everything he's been through. Anyway, as a barbarian, Wulfgar listened to a lot of songs growing up about glorious deeds sung over gnarly lute and lyre riffs. Naturally, this would mean he's a big Sabaton fan. This also means we should probably keep him away from any Paradox Interactive title, as well as Sid Meier's Civilization games. In the Underdark, my headcanon is that dark elves sing with harsh vocals about spilling blood and gore for their queen Lolth. On the surface, everyone sings with clean vocals about much more positive things. Drizzt, feeling like he doesn't fit into either category, probably likes a mix of both. I think a good band for that would be We Came as Romans. I think he'd especially like Vultures with Clipped Wings and King of Silence. Now, finally, my waifu, Lady Illustriel, is a sexy tsundere who wants Drizzt. She's a great leader, a powerful wizard, an idealist, a wonderful person. But we all know deep down she just really, really wants Drizzt. She even has this locket that tracks his exact location, and while it comes in handy at one point, we all know why she really has it. What is the most tsundere music out there? Paramore, of course. Come on, she totally watches Canterbury and Drizzt from a distance while quietly singing Misery Business. I could fix her. Anyway, do you guys make headcanon playlists for characters you like, or am I just weird? I'd like to know this because I think it's a good gauge on how well written a character is if you can connect them to music. If you guys liked this video, feel free to like it, I guess. I'm not your mom. Anyway, I've been Alien Daydreamer, and I am out. Bye!